What's up, guys? We're here with Thursday night NFL football action for Week 16. We'll take a deep dive on the Rams versus Seahawks. I'll give out my favorite bets against the spread and over/under, and we're going to look at a bunch of NFL player props. Also, we're going to cover this massive NBA Thursday slate, so buckle up. We have a great video for you today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking down there in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and player availability being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, a little bit rough, gave a little bit back after a couple good days. We bricked out the Cavaliers minus 5.5 over there on that very short NBA slate. And it turns out we need to have a real conversation about this Cleveland team because they look broken in some pretty major ways. Their salaries the way they are, it's going to be very difficult for them to do anything to, move anybody around, make any trades. And getting blown out by Chicago despite a 32-point game there from Donovan Mitchell is a really bad look. We break down on Vanderbilt minus 7.5, and the Commodores played with their food so hard in the second half, they ended up in overtime after leading by 6 in a super low-scoring first half. Eventually, they do win by 7, so the hook gets us on that one. We cashed UAB minus 17.5, a comfortable blowout win after they let Cleveland State kind of stick around the first half. This Blazer squad going to be an interesting one down the stretch for sure. They looked really, really solid there in that second half. Siena was a really frustrating pick. We had them plus 1.5. They didn't show up at all in the first half, just got absolutely shelled. Then they go 42-42 in the second half, showing they're plenty good enough to play with this Vermont team. We'll see if they can, get back on track here. Should have been a very competitive game, but if you don't show up in the first half, your opponent, especially if they're playing at home, is likely to jump on you, and that's just what happened. We still got Arizona State live here at time of recording. That game hasn't even started yet. I like them a lot, plus 9.5, so hopefully they can come through for us because Alabama let us down big time. Isn't that awesome of a team, apparently? Their defense looks pretty bad. They did everything they wanted right on the offensive side of the ball tonight against South Florida and only won by 11. It looked like they were, at best, 10 or 11 points better than a fairly middle-of-the-road USF squad. So I have very middling expectations for this Alabama team for the rest of the season. So a little bit of a rough day out there. We're going to see if we can find a bounce back here. We've got a massive, massive NBA slate to cover on top of a very exciting, for a change, Thursday night football matchup. So let's go ahead and get after it. We're going to be looking at the Los Angeles Rams here as they go on the road to take on the Seattle Seahawks. This game has major implications out there in the NFC West for who is going to come away with the win in maybe the best conference in football. We'll see what goes on. But the Rams, they're 11-3 on the season. They come to this game fresh off a 41-34 win there over the Lions. Things looked very good in that one. And 11-3 on the season, they're playing great. And they've got 2 cupcake games after this. They play the Falcons and then they play the Cardinals. So the Rams really looking at their last big test in this game. They come into this one, fresh off a very solid performance against Detroit. Stafford was picked off once, but also had 2 touchdown passes and threw for 368 yards. He was also sacked twice. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum did tons of work there on the ground. They ended up with 149 rushing yards on a combined 26 attempts and 3 combined touchdowns. Very good work there. Puka Nacua had a monster day, but he won't shut up in maybe, I can't even really say the media, just he's on all sort of weird streams and podcasts and whatever ways he's getting just some crazy things off in the, out into the stratosphere, talking about how the refs are terrible, talking about how the Rams are the Chargers' big brother, all that kind of stuff. Bro, let's calm down a little bit. Let's concentrate on winning some football games. How about that? But he is coming off a monster day. So is Colby Parkinson. He had a monster performance, catching 2 touchdowns last week. Devontae Adams, he had a good day there against the Lions. Apparently, he will not play in this game, but we'll double-check the injury report here in just a second. Defensively, they gave up 34 points against the Lions, which is not a great showing. They struggled against Goff. They also struggled against Amon-Ra St. Brown, but they completely shut down that Lions rushing attack. Definitely something to take into consideration here as they go against a Seattle team that has a much worse quarterback, in my opinion, than Jared Goff. So we'll see what the Rams can do in this one. Their injury report coming into this game does confirm that Devontae Adams is probably going to be out. He's officially doubtful, dealing with knee and hamstring issues. And here on a short week, it would be a pretty big surprise if he was to come back and end up playing in this game. But we'll have to wait and see. It sounds like it's not impossible. It is a big game. Other than that, they're very healthy offensively. Offensive line's ready to go. We see Williams and Corum both ready to go there, so the running back group is looking ready. Defensively, they're pretty healthy for this game as well, so a lot of good news there for the Rams on the injury front, aside from Adams, the potential for him to miss this game. So we'll see what they can do. They are playing on the road here, taking on the Seattle Seahawks, who come into this one fresh off an 18-16 win over the Colts. Not exactly a blowout there, but they'll take the win after back-to-back blowout games, albeit taking down the Vikings and Falcons. I don't know how excited we're supposed to get about that, but in that win over the Colts, and 10,000-year-old Phillip Rivers coming back and having a pretty solid game, Darnold was fine. Completed 22 of 36 passes, 271 yards, no touchdowns, but also no interceptions, and was only sacked once. The running game didn't do a ton either, if we're being completely honest. Seattle really struggled to get into the end zone in this game. Jackson Smith and Njigba had a monster performance, catching 7 out of 9 targets for 131 yards. I kind of wonder what he would look like with a great quarterback throwing in the ball. Just saying, I am not super high on Sam Darnold at the moment. We'll see what he does in this one. Maybe he'll be good. The defense obviously looked great last week, coming up with only allowing 18 points. Let's keep in mind, this is against this is like a 5th string quarterback or something. I don't even know how to explain what Phillip Rivers is at this point. The dude's 44 years old and coming off the couch. He threw for a touchdown pass, 120 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, and was sacked once. Jonathan Taylor, the Seattle defense did a good job of slowing him down, but didn't stop him. So overall, they did some good stuff, and this defense has been good this year. Don't get it twisted. They're currently second in the NFL, giving up 17.3 points per game. But let's look back and see what they've done against good teams this year. They haven't played a good one in a while. They did give up 24 points against the Titans a few weeks ago. Lost to the Rams 21-19 earlier in the season. Nothing really amazing against good teams. I mean, they gave up 19 points to the offensively challenged Texans. I mean, they gave up 38 points to the Buccaneers early in the year. Seattle, when you look back, has had a pretty easy schedule. So, looking at their injury report, guys, they're relatively healthy on offense. Charles Cross will be out for this game, so they will be missing their starting left tackle. Defensively, they are very, very healthy for this game, so that's got to feel pretty nice. And that's part of the reason they're 1-point favorites here at home. Basically a pick'em game. We've got a total here of 42.5. The Rams are 10-4 against the spread. They are 4-2 against the spread on the road. They are 7-7 to the over/under. Seattle's 10-4 against the spread, 4-3 against the spread at home, 8-6 to the over. Weather for this game, the temperature isn't a concern. It's going to be around 46, something like that degrees, so nothing too crazy. 11-mile-an-hour winds, that's a little bit of a win. And spoiler alert, guys, it's going to rain in Seattle. It's going to rain. There's no way around that. That's what happens in Seattle football games. So that is maybe a slight concern here, but looking at the side here, I will definitely be taking the Rams, getting +1 or on the money line. Darnold, he's been slipping the last couple weeks. The Rams have a real running game here in a game that's going to be played in the rain and with a little wind. Devontae Adams, if he does end up sitting out, that's not great, but I think they're going to be fine here against Seattle team that, they have very good history against them. Last season in the playoffs, the Rams destroyed Darnold when he was with the Vikings, and in their first matchup of the year, Darnold threw 4 interceptions in this same matchup. So that's a big concern. I also just think this is a big step-up spot for the Seahawks, who haven't played the toughest schedule this season. In terms of a total, I am looking at over 42.5 in this game. I think we'll see a good amount of offense. These are two pretty good teams. I think they're going to put some points on the board. I've got several props that I like for this game. First up, I'll take Stafford here over 1.5 passing touchdowns at +108. He's been over this number in the last 5 weeks in a row, and even though that Seattle defense is good, the wide receiver group for the Rams is so good that Stafford has been a monster this season. So I definitely think that, I think he's going to find the end zone twice. I don't think that's too big of an ask, especially getting plus money. I'll also take Jackson Smith and Jigba over 89.5 receiving yards here at -110. The concern with this one is an implosion game from Darnold, but the way he's looked recently, we aren't going to let that scare us off too much. JSN has been a monster this season. Absolutely incredible stuff. You throw it up there, he can usually go get it. The rain may be a concern, but I think he gets plenty of catches in this game and plenty of opportunities. On the Rams side, I'll take Kyren Williams to score a touchdown this one at +120. He scored a touchdown in 8 of his last 10 games. I do expect him to have a shot at the end zone in this one, despite the fact he's facing a pretty solid defense. Now, there is always the possibility that Williams could get involved here in the receiving game a little bit, but he hasn't been super involved in that and hasn't had a receiving touchdown any of the last 5 weeks. So we'll see what he can do in this one. The last time he faced the Seahawks, he had 12 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. So I think there's definitely some value on that one. Back on the Seattle side, I'll take Sam Darnold over 225.5 passing yards at -114. Backing Darnold's always a little bit scary, but I do think they're going to need to be throwing the ball in this one, at least at some point in this game. If he throws the ball to the other team a bunch, that's going to be a lot harder to get to, but I think in this spot, we can trust him to have at least a good enough game here and a huge spot playing at home to get over a pretty small total passing yards number. and I'll also take Darnold to throw a pick in this game. It's minus 146, so not a great price. He's been much better recently about the terrible interceptions, but the last time he played the Rams, it did not go like that, and I'll be a little surprised if he doesn't make at least one mistake here in a massive pressure spot. Also, you can just get unlucky and a tipped ball can result in an interception. So we'll see. That one probably won't make the pinned comment, but I definitely think it's worth mentioning. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. We are coming off a little bit of a down day there yesterday. Wasn't a whole ton cooking out there in the sporting universe, but over the last couple days before that went absolutely nuts. The 15th and the 16th were crazy, especially the 16th. I can't even, what was our record? It was 6-0 on NHL, that's for sure. I think we went 9-2 total in that entire day, cashing a nice 2-unit play there on Jacksonville State on a college football play, cashing the Bruins as a 2-unit play as well. So a lot of good stuff cooking over there on the 16th. Giving a little bit back here on the 17th. Obviously wasn't what we wanted, but Alabama messing around didn't work out, and Winnipeg getting shut out was definitely not something our NHL handicapper saw. So a little bit of a down day there, but still on a very good run over there on the college basketball side, a very good run over on the hockey side. That makes us 6-1 over our last 7 NHL plays. So definitely want to get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and check out the premium stuff, but you also got to get over there, even if you're not looking to spend any money, check out the free stuff. There are free picks posted over there every single day under the free picks tab. There's information on, any sport could be under the free picks tab, to be honest, guys. Anything that we cover on the site is fair game to end up in there. You also want to get over there and check out the free to use bet size calculator, but even better than that, you got to get on that free email newsletter, guys. It's a fantastic resource. Every single day we send out one email just loaded with tons of great sports betting information. There are parlays in those emails. There's information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, tennis, UFC, WNBA was a big one in there. All kinds of good stuff cooking in those emails, and free picks on all the major sports as well. So it's just a wealth of information in there, especially the touchdown props from last week that you've been seeing on the screen. We send out a ton of NFL touchdown props every single week, and you definitely don't want to miss out on those, guys. A lot of units being made on those touchdown props. This is actually kind of nuts, but definitely make sure you get on that email list. It's really, really easy. Just go to StumpTheSpread.com by clicking the link in the description or typing StumpTheSpread.com into your browser of choice. Click that little green login button at the top right-hand corner. That'll prompt you to set up a free account. All they're going to ask you for is your name and your email address. That's it. You'll get one email straight to your inbox every single day, loaded with all that great information. So definitely make sure that you're getting in on that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe more importantly, get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here to one random YouTube channel member every single solitary week. So we love doing those giveaways, do it every single Monday. So make sure if you're interested in being in on that, you sign up as a YouTube channel member over on the YouTube channel. You just click that little join button right below the video. Last but not least, guys, we also have Stump the Spread hoodies for sale over at StumpTheSpread.com. Definitely get those orders in now. You might be a little too late to get your hoodie by Christmas if that's what you're trying to do, but we got free shipping and we're running a sale on them right now. So definitely get over there and snap up a Stump the Spread hoodie. It's very easy to find them there under the shop tab on mobile or on desktop. So get in on that if you're interested. But guys, we got to go ahead and dive back in. We've got a full, massive NBA slate to cover here on a very, very busy Thursday. You'll love to see a nice, deep slate out there. And first up, we're going to be looking at the Atlanta Hawks as they go on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Hawks come into this game 15-12 on the season. They're fresh off a 120-117, very close win there over the 76ers, but they'll definitely take it. It's going to be interesting to see what direction Atlanta goes, what they're trying to do once Trae Young does eventually come back. But right now they're getting great production from guys like a Kongwu. Dyson Daniels is playing really well. A lot of positives for this team. They shot 52% from three in that win over Philadelphia. Not something I expect them to be doing all that often, but things are looking pretty good here for the Hawks. We do see Trae Young probably nearing a return. He's questionable with that knee issue, so sounds like he's getting a little bit closer. It's actually been very interesting to watch Trae Young's YouTube channel here. A little shout out to Trae Young's YouTube channel. He's been given updates on his, progress making his way back from injury. So that's been pretty cool. So the Hawks fully healthy besides him as they head on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who at 8-10 on the season, they've been okay. They've done some good stuff. They beat the Cavaliers recently, although the way the Cavaliers have looked, maybe that's not even that special of a thing. In that win over, a decent Cavaliers team, a decent at times anyway. We saw very good stuff from Constantinople, putting up a 29-piece. Also playing 44 minutes in that overtime game. That's pretty nuts. Nobody doing anything too crazy off the bench. Brandon Miller playing really, really well. Miles Bridges playing okay. Some inefficient shooting numbers out there, but overall a very good day as they do get that win. So we'll see if they can keep things rolling here. It's going to be interesting to see what the Hornets try to do around the trade deadline. A lot of smoke around the possibility of a LaMelo Ball trade. He's dealing with an ankle issue. He's questionable for this game. Trey Mann and Colin Sexton both on the injury report as well. And Mann, he officially won't play in this game with that knee issue, and Sexton, he is out as well. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Hornets are getting 5.5 points at home. We've got a total of 237.5. Atlanta is 10-6 against the spread on the road this year. They are 16-11 to the over. Charlotte's 7-6 against spread at home. They are 17-9 to the under. I think this is a pretty good spot to back the Hawks. I love that the Hornets are actually trying to win games this year. I love that they're putting in the effort. I like a lot of the pieces they've got on this team, but I don't think they have the kind of pieces that are going to have a good time here against the Atlanta Hawks. I think Kneppel will probably have a little bit of a down game in this one, and I think we see the Hawks get a pretty comfortable 8 to 10 point win. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks come into this game fresh off their NBA Cup championship game win there over the San Antonio Spurs, so well played to them in that game. Brunson did struggle a little bit there as we predicted. Cat played okay, although he did get a little bit banged up in that game, so we'll see if that has any lingering effects here. Mikal Bridges also got banged up at the end of that game. It was a pretty physical competition there for sure. Liked the way we saw just monster performances from the bench. That was pretty out of nowhere. Mitchell Robinson putting up 15 boards off the bench. Okay, I could have imagined that, but Kolek putting up 14 and Jordan Clarkson putting up 15 off the pine was not something I had on my bingo card. So we'll see if the Knicks can replicate any of that. They are pretty banged up coming into this game. We see Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Cat, and Mitchell Robinson all on the injury report. Miles McBride apparently will still not be back either. So a lot of banged up Knicks. Hart dealing with that abdominal strain is officially questionable. OG Anunoby is questionable with a left knee contusion. Cat is questionable there due to left knee soreness. I do kind of expect him to miss this game, very likely. Mitchell Robinson's ankle issue is questionable for this one, and Miles McBride will not play in this game. So we'll see who they even have available as they head to Indiana to take on the Pacers, who at 6-20 on the season. I mean, they've seen better days. They're coming off a loss to the Wizards. Doesn't get much bleaker than that. In that game, they just didn't really have any answers for guys like Marvin Bagley and CJ McCollum. You don't say that every day. Siakam had a rare, terrible shooting night. Jay Huff, 13 points. Mathurin, 15. But Nembhard was terrible. Couldn't throw it in the ocean. And there's just been a lot of bad games for this team over the course of the season. But that does leave them in a bit of a bounce back spot. That is for sure. Their injury report, still no Ben Shepherd. But other than that, they are healthy and ready to go, without Obi Toppin and obviously without Halliburton. So we'll see what goes on with the Pacers in this one. They are at home. They're getting 4.5 points. We've got a total of 224.5. The Knicks are only 3-7 against the spread on the road. They are 14-12 to the over. The Pacers are 8-6 against the spread at home and 17-9 to the under. There are a couple plays that I like in this game. I do think under 224.5 is live. That total and this spread makes me think that a lot of Knicks, including probably Cat, are going to sit this game out. And if that's the case, I'll also definitely take the Pacers here getting 4.5 points. It's a huge letdown spot for the Knicks after that massive NBA Cup championship win. I think they really take their foot off the gas, rest a lot of guys, and the Pacers could maybe win this game straight up. Rolling right along here, we're looking at the Miami Heat heading to Brooklyn to take on the Nets. The Heat are 14-12 on the season. They have, however, lost 5 straight games, losing to the Mavericks, Magic, Kings, the Magic again, and the Raptors. So yeah, not exactly a dream scenario building for the Miami Heat, who have kind of had a little bit of a rough time after a very, very fast start. In that 10-point loss against Toronto, not a lot of positives. Wiggins struggled shooting the ball. Norman Powell, a bad night shooting the ball. No Tyler Hero, right toe issue. He did not play in this game. Jaime Jaquez Jr. scored 10 points in 30 minutes. None of this is a real good look. And Kelly Oubre, 19 minutes, 13 rebounds, 6 points. Bro needs to play more. But overall, just a bad day out there for the Heat. We'll see if they can play a little better, see if they can get healthy, see if they can get the roll going that they had going earlier. But they're going to have to do it probably a little bit short-handed. Tyler Hero out for this game with that toe issue. Norman Powell dealing with a calf issue. He's questionable. Pretty much expect him not to play. A lot of guys potentially missing here as they go on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets, who at 7-18 have been playing a little bit better recently. They've won 4 out of their last 6 games. Other losses were to the Jazz and the Mavericks. They beat the Hornets, Bulls, Pelicans, and the Bucks over that stretch. So the Heat don't seem like that much of an outlier in that group. In their 127-82 beatdown against the Bucks, Obviously, Milwaukee, a shell of themselves in that game, but some decent shooting numbers there from the Nets. They shoot 44% from three. We like what we see pretty much across the board. Michael Porter Jr. only 12 points in that game, and they still win in a blowout. The bench looked really, really good. Definitely some guys out there that need to be getting a few more minutes for the Brooklyn Nets. They also come into this game fully healthy and ready to go. So that's a pretty big deal here, and they are getting 6.5 points. We've got a total of 227.5. Miami's a 500 against spread team on the road. They are a slight under team. Brooklyn's 6-7 against spread at home. They are 15-10 to the under. So if there really are this many injuries for the Heat, maybe we really genuinely consider under 227.5. But better than that, I'll take another underdog here at home. Give me the Brooklyn Nets getting 6.5 points here against a very banged up Miami Heat team that's going to really be searching for offense, and we see both Hero and Norman Powell sit this game out. Next up, we're looking at the Los Angeles Clippers going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Clippers are one of the worst stories in the NBA this season. They're coming off an 18-point loss against the Grizzlies. They're 6-20 on the year, guys. It has gone about as bad as it possibly could. They got obliterated by Jaren Jackson Jr. in that loss, giving up 31 points to him. Kawhi, 21 points, shooting the ball pretty well, except for from three. Harden, not a great night for him. 13 points in his 31 minutes. It's really difficult to figure out what they could possibly try and do with this team to fix any of this or to start over or to do anything. It's not looking great. It's looking real bad there for the Clippers. Their injury report, Harden is going to be out for this game. That's a huge problem. He's dealing with that left calf contusion. I'm not surprised to see him miss some time. Batum is on the injury report as well. He doesn't really move the needle for me too much. Right now, it's looking real bleak. Looking real bleak there for the Clippers. And they're going on the road to take on one of the toughest opponents you could possibly face, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 24-2 and coming off a 2-point cup loss there against the Spurs. I struggle to think of a situation where you would want to face the Thunder less than them coming off of a loss like that. I mean, the last game and the only other game they lost this season was against the Trailblazers, and they beat the Kings in the next game 132-101. So, a lot of positives right now for the Thunder. Obviously, that was a whole different, situation there against the Spurs. They do come a little bit short against a crazy Wemby shot-making game, but their first cup game, they won 138-89 against the Suns. So, I don't really think we need to dive too much deeper here into the Thunder. They're pretty healthy coming into this game with the exception of Hartenstein. He is not dealing with an injury. He's just sitting out for rest. So, other than that, they're fully healthy. The Thunder are 17.5 point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 220.5. The Clippers are 7-8 against the spread on the road, a 500 over/under team. The Thunder are 7-5 against the spread at home. They are 14-12 to the over. I normally like to fade the Thunder in these spots where they're massive favorites, but I don't think this is one of them. Definitely give me the Thunder here. They're going to be pissed that they lost in that cup game. I think we see them absolutely lay the wood here against a terrible Clippers team. I think the Thunder will win this game by 30 points probably. Even their bench and their third string is good enough to play against the Clippers. And I don't see Kawhi being very motivated at this point in the season. Next up, we've got the Washington Wizards going on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Wizards are 4-20 on the year. They are coming off a 108-89 win there over the Pacers, so I'm sure they are whatever version of happy that you can even be if you play for the Washington Wizards right now. But, I mean, they will take it. They're, not a crazy great game. Bagley played really well. Maybe that's a good, sign. He's going to be pointing in the right direction. But overall, this team is just not good. I mean, CJ McCollum is constantly auditioning to get moved to some other team, but these days moving guys around the NBA isn't quite as easy, so we'll see what happens with that. They do come into this game relatively healthy. No Chris Middleton, no Corey Kispert, but other than that, whatever they have is ready to go as they go on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs, who are fresh off that Cup championship game loss. They lose 124-113 after leading by 9 late in the third quarter. And the very end of that third quarter and the entire fourth quarter, that was pretty bad stuff. So they'll be looking to get rid of that memory and get back after it. They come into this game looking fully healthy. Apparently, Wemby, they're just going to run him back out there. Everybody's ready to go. Fox, Castle, Vassell, Barnes. Harrison Barnes, not a very good shooting day in that one, but a lot of depth, a lot of really good players on this team. So we'll see what they can do here. They're 12.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 241.5. Washington is 5-8 against spread on the road. They are 15-9 to the over. The Spurs are 7-3-1 against spread at home. They are 15-11 to the over themselves. I will not, however, be taking over 241.5. A stat that I think is very, very pertinent in this one. When coming off of a win this season, guys, the Wizards, after a win, they are 0-3 against the spread. Don't really hold up that well after a win. And the Spurs guys coming off of that cup loss, I don't love it. I'm definitely going to be, if I'm the Wizards, I mean, I don't love it. I will definitely be taking the San Antonio Spurs here, minus 12.5. I think they come out and obliterate the Wizards here, winning this game by 20 points or more. Rapid fire through these games, we've got the Toronto Raptors heading to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. The Raptors are 16-7 on the season. They are fresh off that 106-96 win over the Heat, so they'll take that, but this team is pretty banged up. Brandon Ingram getting asked to do a lot right now, and his shot making has been fantastic this season. Definitely have to give him credit there. Quickly coming back and playing well coming off that illness. They shot 40% from 3 in this game. The fact they only shot 9 free throws is a little bit concerning, but they did a good job on the board, so I'll give the Raptors credit there for sure. They come into this game still going to have no RJ Barrett. It's pretty uncertain when he's going to end up, actually coming back and playing. We'll see. Jakob Poeltl, he's probable due to a back injury. Sounds like he is going to be out there for this one. Other than that, they're healthy as they go to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. Now, the Bucks are 11-16 on the season. Doc Rivers is saying the struggling Bucks don't need big changes. I would disagree. We'll see what goes on with the whole Giannis situation, but it seems like he's not trying to play basketball for the Milwaukee Bucks anymore. They're coming off getting absolutely blown out there by the Nets. That was after a crazy upset win there over the Celtics where Kyle Kuzma went nuts. Not something you're going to see on a nightly basis. They are a little bit banged up. Obviously, no Giannis. Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, two pretty solid guys, but AJ Green looks like he's probably going to miss this one. Dealing with that shoulder issue. He's only questionable, so I guess it's possible that he plays. Kuzma, dealing with an illness. Not the kind of guy you expect to tough it out through an illness or play very well on a nightly basis regardless. And Cole Anthony, questionable due to a neck issue. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Bucks are getting 5.5 points at home. We've got a total of 220.5. Toronto's 7-6 against spread on the road. They're 16-11 to the under. Milwaukee's 8-7 against spread at home. They're 15-12 to the under. I don't really have a great read on the side in this one. I guess I'll lean just slightly towards the Raptors at minus 5.5, but I don't love that on the road. I'll take under 220.5, sure, and that helps us avoid the side. So really, though, not a game I'm super interested in. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, the Rockets, they're 16-7 on the season. They're fresh off that crazy overtime loss there against the Nuggets. And I will say they did have some valid complaints there in terms of the officiating. But in the officials' defense, seems like they're all just terrible and all their calls they make are just terrible these days, but maybe I digress. There was some pretty bad officiating there in that NBA Cup championship game, but in that loss to the Nuggets, it just becomes more and more glaringly obvious to me that this team needs to find a way to get a point guard. I don't care what you got to do. I love Reed Shepherd, don't get me wrong, but he's not a real point guard. They need a real point guard out there, and I don't think it should be Kevin Durant. I don't think it should be Jabari Smith Jr. I don't think you should be having Sengun be your full-time playmaker. I think you need to find a way to get a real point guard. We'll see if they can do that. They do come into this game pretty healthy. Tari Eason's still sidelined. That's not great. Amen Thompson running the point, though, is not good. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Pelicans. I don't think it'll matter a whole lot against the Pelicans who come into this game. Winners of 2 in a row. They won 114-104 against the Bulls and 143-120 against the Blazers. That's cool. I have a lot of question marks about how good this team actually is. I mean, in their win over the Bulls, they shot 24% from 3 and still won by 10. That's great. You're going to have off-shooting nights like that. It'll definitely happen. We're liking what we're seeing from Jeremiah Fears. Derek Queen does some positive stuff on a nightly basis. Jordan Poole coming back and playing okay is nice. And Zion being out there. Zion Williamson playing basketball. You don't see it every day. So we'll see what Zion on the floor can do for them in this one, if he is even out there. He's not on the injury report, so they are counting on him to play. We'll see. The Pelicans are getting 9.5 points at home. We've got a total of 234.5. Houston, they're 9-4 against the spread on the road. They are 14-8-1 to the over this year. A much bigger over team Houston is than I would have thought they would be. But, I mean, I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The Pelicans, they are 9-5-1 against spread at home. They are 16-11 to the over themselves. So we definitely have to consider over in this game, but I think we also have to consider the Houston Rockets at minus 9.5. They are 4-2 against the spread this season, coming off a loss, so that's a little bit helpful. I don't really trust what I'm seeing from the Pelicans here. The Rockets' second unit isn't exactly amazing, really not amazing, but I don't know how the Pelicans are going to guard guys like Kevin Durant, really. I don't know if they're going to guard Sengun, especially, or how they'll deal with Steven Adams if they decide to go big. So definitely think this situation poses some issues there for the New Orleans Pelicans as they try to figure things out here against the Rockets. Next up, we're looking at the Detroit Pistons heading to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. The Pistons are 21-5 on the season, absolutely killing it. They're coming off a big 112-105 win there over the Celtics. We were on the Pistons in that game, so thank you, Detroit, for figuring that one out for us. They played great. Cade's playing like, I mean, not an MVP given the kind of astronomical numbers that guys are putting up these days, but kind of should be getting some consideration for a most valuable player, I would think. Against the Celtics, he was amazing. 32 pretty efficient points out there. As a team, Detroit won this game despite, not any sort of outlier shooting game, except for maybe Cade going 6 of 10 from 3, but overall, just a very, very solid performance out there. Loving what we're seeing from the Pistons. They've got significant depth. They're very healthy coming into this game as well, so everything is pointed in the Pistons' direction as they head to Dallas to take on this Mavericks team that's fresh off that 140-133 loss there in overtime against the Jazz. Cooper Flagg kind of had a coming out party, putting up 42 points. That was nice, but the lack of defense for the Mavs really, really showed in this one. Also, no Anthony Davis again, as kind of tends to be the thing. One of the reasons everybody thought that Anthony Davis for Luka trade was so bad was one of those guys usually plays. One of those guys almost never plays. So we'll see what they can do. Obviously, Flagg putting up a monster performance. That's great. Liked a lot of what we saw from Najee Marshall. PJ Washington played well. Gafford was out there only for 13 minutes. So this team kind of lacks a legitimate big. Clay is shooting the ball a lot better. That does my heart good, honestly, to see Clay, figuring things out. Looking at the injury report here, no shocker, you're going to see Anthony Davis on there, and he is currently listed as questionable with that calf issue. I would be pretty shocked if we saw him play. The dude's lack of availability, though, is why Dallas can't trade him anywhere. Nobody wants him if he's not going to be able to play, and when he's going to demand a king's ransom in a trade, and when he's getting paid some astronomical number. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Mavericks are getting 5.5. We've got a total of 230.5. Detroit's 7-5 against spread on the road. They're 14-11-1 to the over. Dallas is 8-8 against spread at home. They're 15-12 to the under. I will be taking the Detroit Pistons here, minus 5.5. I think their depth is way too much for the Mavericks to handle, and if Anthony Davis doesn't play, that makes it an even bigger problem. Do you really think a second unit that's going to be like some version of Dwight Powell, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, and Max Christie is going to stand up against a second unit that's Jaden Ivey, Karis LeVert, Javonte Green, Ronald Holland II, and Isaiah Stewart? I do not think so. Give me the Pistons here, minus 5.5. Next up, we're looking at the Orlando Magic as they go on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Magic, they're 15-11 on the season. They dealt with lots of injuries. They're coming off that cup loss there against the Knicks. I have to be a little bit disappointed in how that went after that incredible game they had against the Heat. Albeit it was the Heat, so let's not freak out too much. But like I said, Orlando has dealt with a ton of injuries. We haven't really gotten to get a clear picture of what this team is going to be like when/if they are ever fully healthy. I mean, in that game against the Knicks, we liked what we saw from Jalen Suggs. But speaking of injuries, guys, Suggs, he's out for this game. He's currently dealing with that left hip contusion. When will he be back? It is very, very unclear still. I don't think it's going to be forever, but missing time is not a good look. And we also see Franz Wagner. He's going to be out for this one and out for quite a while still. A high ankle sprain is pretty bad. It's what happened like 9 or 10 days ago. He's going to be out like 4 weeks. Probably at least 4 weeks would be my guess. High ankle sprains, not something to mess with. So we'll see what they can do here in Denver. They're taking on the Nuggets, who are 19-6 on the season, but they made some of these wins look a little bit harder. I mean, they did blow out the Kings recently, but also beat the Hornets by 9 not too long ago. So we'll see what they do in this one. They're coming off that 128-125 overtime thriller against the Rockets. A lot of good things. Jokic played well in this game. A lot of positives. Not just Jokic. Obviously, him putting up a triple-double is nuts. Jamal Murray, very efficient shooting numbers, did a great job of getting to the free throw line. Cameron Johnson, not as much of a scoring threat for Denver as I would have hoped, but his offense has been great. Tim Hardaway Jr. played a ton of minutes in that game. They were not the most productive minutes, though, I will say that. So we'll see what the Nuggets can do in this one. Obviously, they need to get Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown back to really, reach what they want to reach this season. They're relatively healthy. Peyton Watson and Tim Hardaway Jr. both on the injury report. Watson dealing with that ankle issue is questionable. I think he's pretty likely to play, and Tim Hardaway Jr. questionable due to an illness. So we'll see. We'll see who the Nuggets have, available. They're 7.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 234.5 in this game. Orlando's 6-5 against spread on the road. They are 14-12 to the over. Denver's 6-5 against spread at home. They are 17-8 to the over. So right off the bat, guys, I do think over 234.5 is very, very live in this game. Taking an over in a Magic game feels a little bit weird, but I do think we're going to see a lot of offense out there. I also think we'll see the Nuggets probably win this one by double digits. Who do the Magic really have to slow down Jokic? Like, let's be honest. My answer to that riddle would be no one. Also, if we really are going to see Jalen Suggs out for this game, who's going to guard Jamal Murray? So definitely give me the Denver Nuggets here at -7.5. Next up, guys, we've got the Golden State Warriors heading to Phoenix to take on the Suns. The Warriors, they're 13-14 on the season. Steph's putting up cartoon numbers, and he's just not getting any help out there. The whole Jimmy Butler to be his Robin was supposed to be the thing. Well, Jimmy Butler is going up there and taking 11 field goal attempts in a game. 11. He did go 10 of 11 from the free throw line, but 35 minutes, 16 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, and 3 steals. Not what we need from Jimmy Butler. We need Jimmy Butler to go out there and put up buckets. Draymond scoring 14 points is great. You can't count on that on a nightly basis. The bench looked terrible. Kuminga's getting DNPs. I have no freaking clue what's going on with that situation. It's looking like a disaster. Podziemski's playing okay off the bench. That seems like where maybe he belongs. Moody's playing well, but overall, this team just does not have enough to help Steph win, and that is pretty sad. The injury report here for the Warriors looks about how you would expect. Horford still out. Pat Spencer being sidelined also kind of sucks. Doing something going on for personal reasons. I'm not sure what. I guess it must be a death in the family because his brother's been missing time for personal reasons also. Thoughts and prayers to the Spencer family. Hopefully everything's okay out there. But we'll see when they eventually get back, see if they can get back to hoop, and they were playing really, really well before this. The Warriors are going on the road to take on the Suns. They're 14-12 on the season. Losers of 2 in a row, losing by 2 to the Lakers in that crazy Dylan Brooks versus LeBron game. And the fact that game was so close after the Suns got obliterated by the Thunder, I think that tells me more about the Lakers than about anything else. I mean, the Suns played well in that game, and they're still not really all the way healthy. I mean, Dylan Brooks did play in that game. Devin Booker played also and played pretty well. Grayson Allen seems like he's getting healthy and ready to go. So maybe, more good stuff here from the Suns, who are 2 games over 500 after coming into this year not exactly highly touted. I'll say that after, KD left and all that. Would you see Allen here as questionable for this game due to right knee soreness? I would be a little bit surprised if we don't see Grayson Allen playing this game, but we will obviously have to wait and see. Now, look at the numbers for this one. The Suns are getting 2.5 points at home. We've got a total of 229.5. The Warriors are 7-9 against the spread on the road this year. They're 16-11 to the over. The Suns are 9-4 against the spread at home. They are 14-12 to the under. It feels bad, but give me the Suns here plus 2.5, and this could be our dog of the day. I think Phoenix with Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks is a really, really good team. I do expect Grayson Allen to play. That helps as well. I definitely think the Suns here getting 2.5 points are very, very live to win this game straight up. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. Now, the Lakers are 18-7 to start the year. They're coming off that win over the Suns. They'll definitely take it. There are for sure plenty of concerns for this team. LeBron is playing a little bit better here recently. That alleviates one of those concerns. Luka put up 29 points against the Suns, but it took him 25 shots, and he went 2 of 14 from 3. He's getting a lot more foul calls now that he's a Laker, so I'm sure that helps. But the Lakers shot 19% and did still win that game after shooting 19% from 3. So we'll see. We'll see what they can do on the road against the Jazz. Not a walkover opponent. We do see Austin Reeves and Ayton on the injury report. Gabe Vincent as well. Reeves, he's been diagnosed with a left calf strain. We'll see when he comes back. It's going to be a minute. They're not going to. He especially should not risk blowing his Achilles. Ayton, he's been ruled out officially left elbow soreness. That's kind of weird. I'm not sure what the deal is with him. And Gabe Vincent, his availability doesn't really move the needle for me too much. So we'll see what the Lakers do on the road against the Jazz, who have won 2 in a row. They got that crazy overtime win there against the Mavericks. They beat the Grizzlies as well. This is one of those teams that seems like they're just better than the bad teams. They've got such a crazy amount of talent on this roster. I mean, in that overtime win, we saw just tons of production. Markkanen putting up 33. Keontae George putting up 37. Filipowski putting up 25 and 9. He's looking like a real NBA player these days. 3 double-digit scores coming off the bench. This team is looking pretty good, honestly. Like the Utah Jazz, a real team. Markkanen is on the injury report for this game, though. That's concerning. He's questionable due to right groin injury management. Is it the beginning of the tank for the Utah Jazz? Maybe. This is also part of the reason they're getting those 6.5 or 7 points. I don't know why they'd put him on the injury report if they weren't going to sit him. Although I would say they're definitely risking getting fined by the NBA if he is actually healthy. So that definitely throws a little bit of a wrench into the, everything on this game. The Jazz are getting 6.5 for 7, a total of 242.5. The Lakers are 10-4 against spread on the road. They're 17-8 to the over. Jazz are 10-4 against spread at home. They're 16-9 to the over. Let's skip the side on this one, guys, and just take over 242.5. I recognize that's a crazy amount of points, but neither one of these teams really play defense, so I do think we could see an over. If you're begging me for a side in this one, I do love the Jazz here getting 7 points if Markkanen is playing, but there's really no way to know. Last but not least, we're looking at the Sacramento Kings heading to Portland to take on the Trailblazers. The Kings are 6-20 on the year. Things are getting very bleak. They just got blown out by the Timberwolves. They come into this game, I guess you could call it kind of healthy. Schroeder's on the injury report. Levine is out. But really, what does this team have left to play for? It's getting very, very bleak. I am very curious what kind of crazy trade situation they're going to come up with. And if anybody wants Sabonis, I guess he's going to be reevaluated soon for that knee issue. We'll see what's going on with him. The Blazers, they're down to 10-16 on the season. They are coming off that win over the Warriors. I'm sure they feel good about that. They've got some interesting pieces. Denny Edgeva's had a good season. Obviously, that injury to Drew Holiday has really backed things up. Is he going to be back anytime soon? What's his injury look like? He's been ruled out for this game. Yeah, no shocker there. We don't really have a lot of clarity on when he's going to be back. But there's some good players on this team. They are at home, but they are 8.5 or 9.5 point favorites. A total of 237.5 in this game. The Kings are 6-9 against spread on the road, 15-11 to the under. Portland's 7-3 against spread at home, 17-9 to the over. Given those trends, I will take the Blazers minus 8.5. I feel like they are playing like they have something to play for. The Kings really are not. So give me Portland, but it's the tiniest of small leans. I am not getting involved in this game. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com. Check out all the free stuff we offer over there. Definitely get in on the premium picks if you're interested on there. They've been running really hot over the last 2 or 3 days. You also want to get on that free email newsletter, guys. It's fantastic information every single day straight to your inbox. So don't miss out on that. And we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.